You might have heard the saying, or used the saying even yourself, oh, I've had a brainwave. Well, while this is actually more or less referring to someone had a great idea or a light bulb moment, something like that, brainwaves are actually a real thing. And with that comes the question, did you know that your brain is constantly producing electrical activity that influences how you think, feel, or perform? And those patterns, they are called brainwaves. They determine whether you're focused, relaxed, creative, asleep, if you're in any of these states. So brainwaves are a real thing, and today's episode of Exploring Brain and Mind gives you a little bit of an idea about the 5 main brainwaves. And there will be some additional bits for research that is ongoing, because this is one of the fields that is a bit more recent and has not been explored in that much depth. But I'm offering a few insights to give you an idea what brainwaves are and what they do. So brainwaves are electrical patterns produced by the brain, and they can be measured with EEGs, with electroencephalograms. Brainwaves operate in different frequencies, just like radio stations, and shifting between them can affect our mood, our concentration, and our mental state. Here's a bit more about brainwaves. So the brain that communicates through electrical signals, and that creates the rhythmic wave patterns. The signals are measured in hertz, the speed at which neurons fire. The slower the frequency, the more relaxed you feel. The faster the frequency, the more alert you are. There's a quick analogy offered, and it compares the brainwaves with the gears of a car. The low gears are like the low waves, slow moving, relaxation, deep thought. The higher gears, the fast waves, they're like the fast moving car. You're more alert. It's more for high performance, anything that moves fast. Let's look at the 5 main brainwaves that are known and have been researched more. The slowest of them is the delta wave, or are the delta waves. They are from 0.5 to 4 hertz, and they indicate deep sleeping and healing. They're the slowest brainwave, as mentioned, and they're dominant during deep sleep and unconscious states. They're also associated with deep relaxation and reduced awareness, and they may play a role in empathy and intuition. The function of the delta waves include the importance for the immune system function and memory processing. They are also essential for physical healing and regeneration. What happens to us when the delta waves are too high or too low? So when they're too high, we could end up with brain fog, with chronic fatigue, or with difficulty concentrating. When they're too low, it could end up with poor sleep, with restlessness, or we might end up feeling wired but tired. How can we increase delta waves? Prioritize deep sleep, practice relaxation techniques, and avoid screen time before bed. It's always a good idea to put the phone off, put the TV off, the computer off, half an hour to an hour before you actually go to bed. Meditation and binaural beats in delta frequencies could help to promote deep rest. I've got 2 bits of research here for delta waves. One relates to the importance for sleep, and that's a study published by O'Hayan et al. In 2017 in Sleep, It found that disruptive delta sleep can lead to impaired cognitive function and daytime sleepiness, with the main finding that delta sleep is crucial for restorative sleep. I don't know why I have issues with this restorative word. The second piece of research is about healing, with research suggesting that delta waves may be involved in the release of growth hormones important for tissue repair. And that was a study by Van Korter et al. From 2000, with the main finding that delta activity may support physical recovery. With regards to sleep, you might notice that when you have disrupted sleep, if you're a parent, when the kid's getting sick at night time and you get to wake up every hour, 2 hours, you feel absolutely drained the day afterwards when you did not have enough sleep, and you might have brain gaps on that day, and that is a sign that you didn't get enough sleep. Sleep times per night recommended 7 to 9 hours, but it depends on the person as well. The final note to delta waves is they are difficult to study directly during waking consciousness due to their association with deep sleep and more unconscious states. So that there are like sleep laboratories and things where they study them. Next waves we're looking at are the theta waves that are from 4 to 8 hertz, and they're associated with creativity and intuition. Associated states with the theta waves are light sleep, deep relaxation, meditation, and creativity. They're linked to dreaming, to imagination, to deep meditation and subconscious learning. They're common in children and highly creative thinkers. The functions of theta waves are they are the gateway to learning, memory, and intuition, as mentioned. They're involved in emotional processing and storage of memories, and they're also associated with creativity and imagination, as mentioned. When are theta waves active? Theta waves are active in daydreaming, deep relaxation, in hypnosis, or just before falling asleep or waking up. Theta waves are known as the gateway to the subconscious mind. They're making it ideal for creative breakthroughs and for problem solving. How can we boost theta waves? Guided meditation and visualization techniques are great, or to engage in creative, in free-flowing activities like painting, journaling, or brainstorming. And they also show at moments of sudden insight, sometimes called the shower thoughts effect, then the theta waves are also present. I have 2 pieces of research again. One is relating to memory and learning. That is a study by Busaki and Moser. I hope I pronounced that first name right. I have no clue. So Busaki and Moser from 2013 in Nature magazine publication. It explores the role of theta oscillation in spatial imagination and memory formation in the hippocampus, with the main finding that theta rhythms are vital for memory consolidation. And the second piece of research is linked to creativity. There is some research published in Neuroimage, and it's by Fink et al., and it's from 2006, and that has shown a correlation between theta activity and creative idea generation, with the main finding that increased theta power can be observed during creative tasks. A final note here is biofeedback and neurofeedback techniques are sometimes used to train individuals to increase theta activity. Next ones are the alpha waves, and their frequency is 8 to 12 hertz. Sometimes they say 8 to 14 hertz. And alpha waves are associated with calm, focus, and flow. The associated states are relaxed wakefulness, meditation, and mindfulness. Alpha waves are the bridge between relaxation and alertness, so to speak, a more balanced state. And they're linked to calm, concentration, more light meditation, and stress reduction as well. The function of alpha waves include the promotion of relaxation, calmness, and mental coordination. They enhance focus and concentration, and they support mind-body integration. Why are alpha waves important? Alpha waves help with problem solving and relaxed focus, which is the flow state zone. Athletes, musicians, and artists often enter alpha states during peak performance. How can we increase alpha waves? Deep breathing exercises like the 4-7-8 method, it's a method that I'm actually not familiar with, are good. I find box breathing always great. So box breathing or ha breathing, as the Hawaiians call it, that's more the ones that I'm most familiar with. They go, you breathe in, count to 4, hold, count to 4, breathe out, count to 4, and hold again, count to 4. Obviously, you can count 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, whatever, but always keep it kind of the same numbers that you count for when you inhale, hold, exhale, hold. There's other ones as well. I remember one from the counseling training that was you breathe in for 3 or 4, but you breathe out for 7 or 8. That's another breathing exercise. I think it had a particular name as well. I can not put my mind to it at the moment, how it is called. So how to increase the alpha waves. So we said breathing exercises. And being in nature is great. Walking in forests or near water increases alpha waves, or listening to certain music. Recommended here is classical, lo-fi beats, alpha wave, binaural beats, and more the gentle stuff. I would think that heavy metal and rock are not necessarily great for alpha waves. I have another 2 pieces of research for alpha waves here. One is about stress reduction, and there was a meta-analysis published in Complementary Therapies in Medicine, and the study was by Chan and Woolfolk from 2001. That study reviewed studies on the effects of meditation on alpha brainwaves activity and found it can significantly reduce stress and anxiety. And the main finding was that alpha waves increase with relaxation practices. The second research piece was about cognitive performance, where studies have shown a link between alpha waves activity and improved attention and cognitive performance. That study was by Klimesh et al. From 2001, with the main finding that alpha optimization can benefit cognitive functions. The next lot are the beta waves, and I've got 2 sets of different figures here. One is 12 to 38 hertz, while the other one says 14 to 30. I'm more familiar with the 30 as the upper limit. So beta waves are fast and active brain waves, and they're needed for problem solving and logical thinking. Associated states with beta waves are alertness, active thinking, problem solving, decision making. They are dominant when you're working and when you're speaking, analyzing, or making decisions, as mentioned. The functions of beta waves include that they are dominant during waking hours when engaged in mental activities. They are essential for focus, concentration, or cognitive performance. And higher levels of beta waves can be associated with stress and anxiety. And my memory tells me that was the range from about 23 to 30, the high beta range. That's relating to stress and anxiety. There is pros and cons to high beta waves. More balanced levels mean that the focus is enhanced. It's good for sharp thinking and motivation, and too much beta waves, as I said, the high beta waves, stress and anxiety, that happens when the thinking is overactive, when the thoughts are racing, and when it's hard to relax. Too little beta waves, sometimes they can be too low. That can lead to brain fog, procrastination, and poor concentration. How best to regulate beta waves? For a better focus, drink green tea, which contains L-theanine, and that balances beta waves, or to use the Pomodoro technique, which means work in focused intervals with short breaks in between. For stress reduction, engage in mindfulness or breath work to shift excess beta into alpha. And the research pieces I've got two here again. One is about cognitive function. Research in a publication called Cerebral Cortex by Givensleben et al. From 2009 has shown that beta oscillation are crucial for cognitive processes like attention and working memory, with the main finding of the study being that beta activity is linked to efficient information processing. And the second research piece was about anxiety. The studies here linked excessive beta activity to anxiety disorders. That study was by Davidson et al. From the year 2000, with its main finding that high beta can indicate overthinking and worry. It's important to differentiate between healthy beta activity and excessive high beta, which can be detrimental. The high beta ones are more these where you can't switch off. Finally, we look at the gamma waves, and they are from about 30 to 100, or when you look at the other figure, from 38 to 100, but 100 hertz. And they're linked to peak performance and insight. They are the fastest brain waves, the gamma waves, linked to cognition, high-level thinking, and deep understanding. They are strong in monks that use a lot of deep meditation, and other people experiencing eureka moments. Associated states include the mentioned peak performance, heightened perception, learning, and problem solving. The functions of gamma waves include being associated with the higher mental processing, as they are the fastest brain waves. They are involved in cognitive functions like attention, memory, and perception, and they may play a role in consciousness and spiritual experiences. What makes gamma waves unique? Gamma waves are involved with coherence and synchronization. They help the brain connect information across different areas, and they're present during the aha moments, light bulb moments, sudden realizations, deep insights, and so on. How to increase gamma waves? Meditation and mindfulness. I already mentioned that the monks use that a lot, and the monks who meditate regularly have high levels of gamma. Learning new skills stimulates gamma production, and neurofeedback and brain training games help strengthen gamma waves over time. I have another two pieces of research, and the first one is about cognitive enhancement. Research in a publication called Neuron, undertaken by Lisman and Jensen in 2013, suggests that gamma oscillations play a key role in binding information across different brain regions, which is essential for higher order cognitive functions, with the key finding that gamma supports complex cognitive tasks. The second piece of research was about consciousness. Some researchers there propose that gamma synchrony may be related to conscious awareness, and that was some research done by Koch et al. From 2016, with the main finding that the role of gamma in consciousness is an area of ongoing research. The final note to gamma is that gamma waves are relatively new area of research, and their exact functions are still being explored. It kind of underlines what I was saying, that brainwave research is still one of the more recent fields of research, and there will be more coming out, I'm sure, in the next few years. How can we shift between different brainwave states? Brainwaves are flexible. You can learn to shift states depending on what you want. For example, if you want to relax, theta and alpha practices like meditation and deep breathing could be helpful. If you need focus, you can do beta enhancing activities like goal setting, drinking green tea, or the interval work like that Pomodoro technique I was mentioning, doing some focused work and doing some breaks in between bursts of focused work. Then if you need a breakthrough idea, theta and gamma stimulation could be useful for that. Do a bit of daydreaming. Do a bit of visualization exercises. They are good for getting into theta or gamma waves. It might be an idea for listeners to pay more attention to what their dominant brain state is throughout the day to become more aware. This can contribute to your self-awareness that you are supposed to constantly working on, which is helpful for emotional intelligence. And my final thought on brainwaves is that your brain is constantly shifting gears. It moves between different frequencies to match your activities. And by learning how to harness those different states, you can optimize focus, reduce stress, and enhance your creativity. Always keep attention on if your brain states are in balance, or if you are out of balance, that might kind of reflect on your mood, on your mental state. It can indicate why you might have brain fog or why you can't concentrate. Remember to have good sleep. That's always important, to be ready for another day. It will help you to focus and have a better cognitive performance. This brings us to the end of today's episode of Exploring Brain and Mind. You know the drill by now, I'm sure. Like and share the episode if you enjoyed it and if you found it helpful and think it could be helpful for someone else too. Subscribe and follow the podcast on Apple and Spotify, on other podcast providers like Amazon Music, and tune in again next time.